Well, hello there and welcome back to the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel, where today I do have my reaction from the first domestic friendly Hull City versus Grimsby Town at Grimsby, which their stadium's not in Grimsby, but we'll say it is. So it ends with another victory. We remain undefeated in this pre-season before we kick underway in just 3 weeks' time away at Norwich City. We do host Barnsley on Tuesday night at the MKM Stadium. So hopefully we can keep this undefeated streak alive. So I'm going to digest a few little bits from this game because I think there's a few interesting moments. I mean, it was an interesting game full stop, considering that it was played as 4 30-minute segments, creating 2 halves, and then in those 2 halves being 2 halves, if you understand my drift. So there was 2 different teams that Liam Rosenior sent out, one for the first 60 minutes and one for the second 60 minutes. And then we played 2... pretty much like we're playing 2 games in one, but it was all one game. So yeah, that's the gist of it. In the first half, we played a trialist. It was done by some very fine fellows. Managed to decode it as George Cox. Although that wasn't officially announced by the club. Apparently George Cox, a man who used to be at Brighton, playing as a wing-back or a fullback. Obviously that's adaptable in this modern game. Apparently seems quite chummy with Ryan Longman, so possibly them two know each other from their days at Brighton, and that could be somebody who Hull City are looking to bring in on a free transfer as well if it's a trialist. So that is very good. That's very good to keep the books nice and shallow in the payroll, especially since that we did not see any Jacob Greaves in this game. I'll get on to that in a little bit later with a bit more detail on what could be happening with that Roma deal that I did announce a couple of videos ago. Go and check that out if you haven't already, where Roma are looking around Jacob Greaves. No official bid yet. But it was an alright first half. Defensively, we looked lacklustre. I think that was because that we didn't have sort of the lineup that we wanted in defence, sort of that strong lineup that we know and love from the Liam Rosenior reign of last season. So nothing to worry. Pretty much nothing to worry considering they kept a clean sheet for the first 60 minutes. So yeah, nothing too much to worry. Chances, I felt that we had a bit of everything in each half. First half, we had the sort of conviction, the ability to score the goals. Was just lacking the creativity. In the second half, we had that creativity, was creating the chances, just no real conviction. I think that if I'm going to talk as a game as a general, Ryan Longman, he had a good game. He scored a goal. He created chances. I'll tell you this. I never thought I'd see the day since Ryan Longman signed that permanent deal and became pretty much the shit show that he is. And I never thought I'd see the day where he was actually passing the ball in the penalty area. I mean, I thought it was a man that was going to score all his wonder goals and so takes every chance that he can. After he scored his goal, which was pretty much a tap-in, all the work done from Ryan Woods, he actually passed the ball. I was counting on my hands. I think I got up to 3 times and lost count. I mean, it was passing the ball in the penalty area where possibly it would have been better for him to shoot. But I mean, you're looking at that and you're going, maybe if this is a different Ryan Longman this season, maybe this is sort of a fully formed Ryan Longman where he can actually go on and progress as a player, progress into this Hull City lineup, and maybe show us something that he didn't show Liam last season. He hasn't shown us fans since he signed that permanent deal from his loan deal from Brighton. Maybe it is the Ryan Longman that we have been looking for since his announcement as a permanent fixture of the Hull City squad. Possibly. I was very impressed with him this game. Nonetheless, I think Benjamin Tete's had a good start. I'll tell you who will possibly be featuring for Hull City this season, and that's Will Jarvis. He had another strong start today, coming on for the second half, but the second game, so the last 60 minutes of the game. He had a good 60 minutes. He scored one. It was disallowed because Benjamin Tete apparently sent the ball off. I'm not going to go into the if, buts, or maybes on that one. It's a friendly. Who really cares? Probably other than Will Jarvis, considering he is an academy player playing with the senior team. And if it was counted as a goal, which it was a fine header nonetheless, if it was counted as a goal, that would be his second of pre-season. And I think that maybe only Regan Slater has scored 2 this pre-season. So that's very, 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 very good of Will Jarvis, who could possibly featuring in Hull City's squad somewhere in this season. So a fine performance from him. Nothing too much to say about the keepers. I mean, we've already gone over the keepers issue. I mean, we did play against Harvey Cartwright, who is one of our academy keepers, gone out on loan at Grimsby Town. He played for the last 60 minutes and we did score against, but nothing too big of a news on the keeper story so far, and there wasn't anything too much in the match to comment on. I thought the trialist, Joe Cox, had an alright 60 minutes. It seems that he, George Cox, not Joe Cox, George Cox, it seemed that he didn't really have his crossing ability down too much, so I'm not sure whether that's something that possibly was a lacklustre in this game, or was something that he is not too comfortable on. But I thought that his defensive play was very, very good. He was making a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions, which was nice to see. And I thought his progressive play was looking all right up until it got to that point where he was trying to cross it in. I mean, his link-up play with Harry Vaughan did seem to be quite nice, although in that first half I would have liked to see a bit more of a variation on the two sides, because I thought that both the sides had some good play with them, with Harry Vaughan and George Cox, the trialist, and then on the other side, Ali Aside Manesh and Louis Coyle. Now we're talking about Louis Coyle, captain of the squad. I'll feed into this point for the second half, so the last 60 minutes. The captain's armband was an Alfie Jones. I mean, Alfie Jones, he had another brilliant game. He continues to impress each game. An impressive performance from him, commanding in that defensive role. I thought that I was watching him for the last 10 minutes where he was going into sort of that more sit-back role, trying conserve us for the last sort of 5-10 minutes. And I could see him shouting orders, I could see him moving hands around. And it wasn't until then I realised, oh, he's got the captain's armband on, and he's actually sort of doing a good job of captaincy. And that feeds into that Jacob Greaves point. If Jacob Greaves was to go to Roma for this 15-20 mil that's been flown around in the air, which will be a good thing. I mean, I talked about it in my video discussing the matter. But if it does, we have got a vice-captain up for grabs. And then possibly with Louis Coyle going at the end of the season, with his time at the club maybe up soon. Still got this season, though. It could be a thing of having Alfie Jones as our vice captain, who then becomes the club captain once Louis Coyle departs from us at some point. Whether Alfie Jones is still at the club, or if Louis Coyle does remain for another season after this one. It's yet to be remain. But I think that Alfie Jones would make a good Hull City captain. He has got that sort of level-headedness. He's had a brilliant season in defence under Liam Rosinia. And in this game, I just saw it. I saw the commandercity. I saw the sort of captain in him. And I would like to see him possibly, if Jacob Greaves was to go. And there's all these if, buts and maybes. If, but, maybe he was to become the captain, I would be happy with that. And I'm sure a lot of the players would be. And maybe some of the fans too. So let me know in the comments what you think about that one. And as well, what you think about this game. A 2-1 win away at Blundell Park. An undefeated streak continues in this pre-season as we take on Barnsley on Tuesday. Tomorrow I'll have my kit analysis out review, as I picked it up today at the new Tiger Leisure store in St Stephen's. So check out my YouTube short so you can have a little look inside the new store. But I'll have more with you tomorrow, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss that. And then on Monday I'll have my prediction video, and then on Tuesday I'll have my vlog live from the game, as I'll be in a little bit of a different seat to usual. So stay tuned for all of that, and so I'll catch you over there where possibly we could be on a Madden.